I'm gonna keep it a buck, Rose. That last game was really intense. It was such a good show, and I'm sorry for those of you who missed it. You can probably watch it again on a VOD or somewhere CCA that will put out eventually. But man, oh man, what an exciting match that was! I'm very much amped for this next game here. I mean, it's Division One. Like, how are you not excited for this? Especially Halley and PSU Blue, both teams who are notoriously in the up and coming. Halley more specifically, but PSU Blue has their own status to them with how seasoned they are here in the CCA.
Yeah, PSU Blue, if you follow Collegiate Splatoon at all, certainly they are, not a new name to you. PSU Blue's been fantastic, and I am so excited to see Halley as well. Both these teams gonna be fighting for that spot to head into the finals for Division 1 CCA, which is amazing.
Whew, and man, oh man, what a blocker we're gonna have for you guys here. This is a best of 9 set that you can see on your screens here, the map list of what's to come next, but already both of these two teams are raring to go. They don't want to miss any moments here, lose any time to just waiting around. Kicking off this first game right out the gates, Halley versus PSU Blue. I'm already locking in to see exactly what weapons are we gonna be seeing here today.
Yeah, very exciting. We've got a double V-Shot comp over on PSU Blue. Vapor also on that custom X-Blow. We've got 3 V-Shots in this lobby.
I mean, technically 4, depending on how you want to ask with the Aqua Shock in here. But, it's tomatoes to bottle at this point, as both these teams are just raring to go here in mid. It's exactly who's going to get the first pick, who's going to get their first swing on their side. And PSU Blue does get that first swing on Halley, as they're down 1 player. They're going to be moving in instantly to try and flush out Halley as best they can.
And we are going to be seeing a lot of Trizukas in this game over on Undertow. We do have the strikes coming out on the side of Halley. We have already hit that, obviously clearing that first checkpoint for PSU Blue. Touching that second one, gonna have to back off of it for now. And Jay's getting a little sneaky here, able to get maybe a double. Yes, gonna go down, but does get a nice 2-piece on Halley.
Yeah, 2-for-1 special is always something you're looking for here in this game. Halley down another player once again. PSU Blue slowly moving in with that tower here. First checkpoint gone, second checkpoint almost gonna be gone at this point. By the time I get my sentence out, unfortunately, Vapor goes down to his splat bomb here, which really ruins a lot of PSU Blue's momentum here. As that surprisingly enough, Expulsion is the key to their weapon combo. You're taking out that Expulsion, really the remaining members, even though they can hold on their own, it really falls apart for the remainder of their game plan here. As seen here, Halley already moving in to try and take advantage of that, pushing that tower right back to mid as we see a 1-for-1 trade going up for both teams.
Yeah, losing shot on both sides here. We do have Cooler ready and thrown down for Halley. Gonna give them a chance to start going in. But we get the Zuka coming out, taking 2 from Halley. I think at least one of those players may have grabbed a Cooler in time, so possibly gonna come back real soon. Strikes online for Halley. But we're gonna go through that second checkpoint for PSU Blue, and they're still moving on. Vapor's still holding that tower, like you said.
Yeah, this could be very dangerous for Halley if they don't play it well. That second checkpoint heading to the third checkpoint area is really a point of no return. That's when the snowball really turns into an avalanche if you aren't careful enough here. And Halley is just are struggling to keep up with PSU Blue, constantly down players. PSU Blue keeping this aggression going, even though this tower was supposed to reset in mid. They were able to take 2 for 2 on both sides, and that tower is just now barely resetting back to mid here. A lot of time has been lost for Halley. 2 minutes 30 seconds left in this game. There's still no points on their side as we see 2 players down from both sides once again.
Yeah, and especially Jay getting another double here. We do have, tactical online for teams and whatnot, so we're going to see a lot of people dying and coming back immediately. But it's been really impressive how PSU Blue, even when they've been down players, we have only 1 point on the board for Halley. They just... they're doing their best to make sure that a knockout doesn't happen, but they have not been able to actually break through that middle point.
Yeah, a lot of good holds from Halley, but with the game state currently as is, you don't need good holds at this point. You need good pushes in order to start swinging things back into a bit of a neutral state once again here. But PSU Blue are now starting to lose out players. Halley at player advantage means they're going to try and flush the remaining members of PSU Blue out as they take the tower here and are looking to try and get any additional points off of that 99 point that they do have remaining here. PSU Blue, though, are going to be quick to retake this mid here and are looking to try and leverage using Zuka as best they can, but they unfortunately get picked up by the enemy Ingzuka, as Arcane now looking to get that second checkpoint gone.
And we have cleared that first checkpoint, going in towards that second. Jay's got those whales out, though, dodging, this pencil, the Zuka shots. We do have a lot of people online here gonna possibly pick off this carbon. They're in a little battle of their own right here. Gonna have to back off there. And we have not cleared the second checkpoint just yet, but we're getting real close. No! The carbon is all on their own at this point. They're stuck at 52. We have less than a minute left to go.
Oh, but we see here and Awesome still being the last bastion here for Arcale's hope to try and make sure that tower gets that second checkpoint here. They do get 2 before eventually going down here, but that second checkpoint's still up. 30 seconds remaining. It could be a contention here. It could be a tight contest to try and take this lead here. PSU Blue are now coming in to try and hopefully slow them down here, but I don't think they have the tools necessary to instantly stop them here. 2 players down from their side means that PSU Blue are at player disadvantage once again. Tactical online for Arcale means that they're going to be able to take this lead here and back up immediately, not want to try to risk anything more than do the lead swap here. As we head into 10 seconds remaining, PSU Blue has the specials at the ready to try and retake this mid here, but it's going to go into overtime as we head to 0.
Yeah, I mean, Jay had to hop off of that for a moment. We don't have a whole lot happening. That overtime clock is gonna end, and even though we saw Arcale really struggling to make a move, once they did get through to that second checkpoint and were able to keep the tower on that side, they were able to just be tenacious enough to just keep it going and get that lead with only like 10 seconds left to go.
I mean, talk about keeping your cool. Arcale did not let that 0 to, what was it, like 35 points remaining get to the best of them. They really just stood their ground and did their best to play that to the very end. And when they needed it the most, they were able to take that lead swap and instantly backed off to make sure that they're all dead by the time that timer hit 0, which could have, I'm pretty sure if they stayed on that tower for a little to get like an extra 1 or 2 points, it definitely probably would have cost them their game there, because they would have been down players heading into overtime.
Yeah, and you don't want that to happen heading into overtime, even when the tower's on the opposite side of the field and it's got a long way to go. They did a really great job getting lead and immediately backing up, seeing the clock count down, say, we got lead. We don't need to get any more points. We can just back up for a hold here. And they did a really good job.
Absolutely here. But man, oh man, that was an exciting first game in a best of 9 here. So it just goes to show exactly what we might be expecting here for the remainder of this set here. But PSU Blue losing their first game, not necessarily a big deal. You still have a lot of wiggle room to try and get things back into shape, trying to get things back into your own groove here. As we head into game number 2, I'm eager to see exactly if PSU Blue wants to try and shake anything up here on Manta Maria or Mainmaker, or if they're going to keep the same thing that they have been so far. Not just this past game, but in majority of their sets in past.
Yeah, Rainmaker Manta would be interesting to see, because I've just been so focused on Ludi, and Manta Rainmaker is nowhere to be found, so I feel like I haven't watched it really in so long. I will be interested to see if anybody swaps off of certain weapons. I've certainly never enjoyed playing a Trizuka weapon on this map mode, but I don't know. They might just be better than I am. I wouldn't doubt it.
No, I think the Trizuka on this map is a fair assessment. I don't think I would like it in the first place here, but as I said, that we do see the return of so many weapons with Trizuka. It's just what even is. There's 4 Zukas on the field right now. Like, what are you supposed to do about that? I guess it's too much of a good special to not use that, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Arcale is going to get this pop still, obviously in neutral, right at the start of the game. We have the whale coming out from Jay's brush. And Awesome is holding up here, getting that cooler up and ready for the rest of the team. Everybody just trying to get some picks here before they can start moving it. But Jay is going to grab that and make a beeline for that right check. But no, taken out before they can get the dunk.
Yeah, a bit of a cheeky route there to try and sneak an instant dunk there. Doesn't really necessarily pan out too well for PSU Blue. They do have the first few points on the scoreboard here on their side, but Halley is still standing strong here in mid to make sure that the PSU Blue can't take away with any more points here. 2 players down from Halley though. That means PSU Blue is definitely going to look and try and flush them out so they can get that Rainmaker dunk here. And Vapor going to go in on the distraction of the tri-strikes to not only get the Rainmaker dunk, but get that impactful pick with the splashdown, and they're already looking to continue the momentum here.
Yeah, and Vapor dodging those Zuka strikes, able to get that big jump down into that area down below to get to 15. Huge. And then Snow's just like, oh, just kidding, 15's not enough. We're going to get down to 4 now.
I mean, we're seeing exactly why PSU Blue has been the monster they have been this season. And for those of you who are unaware, they have yet to drop a game in this season so far. And going into semifinals without a game drop, you gotta be nervous. And you're seeing exactly why they haven't exactly got a game drop. Taking away all the way down to 4 points remaining, PSU Blue are sitting pretty here as there's only 3 minutes remaining. All that was in it for the first 2 minutes of this game.
Yeah, we're already down to 4 at this point. PSU Blue has such a good lead. As long as they play smart, they really don't have to push for a knockout. If you can, you always love to get the knockout and end the game early, but they have so many resources at their disposal. They can just wait to use when it best suits them and to just not panic. The pressure's going to be on Halley to really move forward. They do have player advantage right now, but there's a lot of specials and bombs going their way. Sam trying to stay alive, but no, picked off by the whale. I hate to see it whenever it happens to me. The cheeky whale. And also I'm able to get a really nice Rainmaker pick, trying to avoid Jay's brush here. Rest of the team is available with those tri-strikes coming out. Looks like they may try to go for that left check. They do have 1 down on PSU Blue. They can start moving in. 2 down. That left check is guarded. Do you think they're going to go for it, Dark?
It's a hard thing to say. The key point from PSU Blue, the explosion is down here, but before they can even think about finishing that animation for the dunk here, the Trizuka comes in and takes it out, and the Rainmaker unfortunately did not go to finish dunking here, finally going down here, but at the cost of 2 of Halley's own players here, it's hard to say exactly if that was a worthy trade here, but as things are reverting back to a neutral state here, but a beautiful shot from the Trizuka means that Halley can definitely still stand their ground here and keep this momentum going.
They can. You see Lost here on this carbon, knowing, okay, Vapor's over there. I'm going to see if I can just, do a little bit of ledge guarding right here and whatnot. But it looks like this is going to pop blue for PSU Blue. Rest of the team is holding this here. They may just wait for that quick reset, but the strikes are coming out from Halley. They want to move this forward before, but you see Vapor's got that triple splashdown at the ready. Fortunately for them, that is going to reset, but Vapor does still have that at the ready whenever it starts moving in.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely PSU Blue is holding on to the specials as best they can, but it may have been a good usage there. 3 going down to Snow here before they go to a suction bomb, which also kind of just spells the name of the game here, how the heck goes sometimes. But now PSU Blue has possession of the Rainmaker, and with 51 seconds remaining, I believe they can just hold on to this Rainmaker for the majority of the time and not have any repercussions here. So I believe PSU Blue is just going to try and just go for the stalling Halley out for as long as they can for the remainder of this game.
They can, and they're holding it over in this far right area, able to just keep an eye on to see if anybody's going to go through that sneaky area where the rest of the team tries to get some picks in. 1 is down on both sides here. We do have another Trizuka ready from Halley. Hasn't been used yet. We have 20 seconds left to go. They are going to have to take out Jay. Then they do. Halley does have a shot to move this forward, but they have to bring it all the way to 3.
Yeah, with 10 seconds remaining, we will be seeing an overtime as Halley does pick up the Rainmaker. 1 player down on their side already as they get ready for this push. Is not looking good here, but they do unfortunately get a pick in return here. The Inkzuka comes to try and take some space, trying to see exactly if they can get another impactful pick here, but it doesn't seem like much of it will come into anything here. There's 45 seconds remaining on overtime here. Halley is playing it slow and steady and trying to make sure they can get the proper picks here to get a good push going. 30 seconds remaining. Players are going down 1 for 1. Vapor uses the splashdown to make sure they can hold their ground as best they can, but time is ticking. There's 20 seconds remaining here for this Rainmaker. You got to get moving here before the timer goes down.
Oh, and that whale's going down. Awesome. Looks like they really, really want to make that down, but they also don't want to drop until it is safe to do so. But they don't have that much time left. Vapor already getting another triple splashdown, clearing out some space, and in a really good spot just to safely flick over there. We have 5 seconds remaining. I do not think there's enough time.
No.
Arcaley, no, not able to drop and swim forwards. They are unfortunately not going to get the lead there for them. And this is going to tie up to 1-1.
I mean, even though Arcaley did a very good job of holding out for as long as they did at the end there, what more could they have done? PSU Blue exactly knew what the win condition was for Arcaley and just did everything they can just to deny that from even being a possibility for them. PSU Blue, with so much pressure and so much just specials being used left and right, it was hard to actually get a drop down for the high ground they're taking, especially with Vapor on the Explosion here. What more could have been done?
I know, PSU Blue knew. They said, we had such a good push. We can just make sure that we have specials online and they can get really close. But so long as we don't let them drop, they're not going to get lead. They have only so much time to work with.
Yeah, I mean, I think on PSU Blue side there, that was textbook is how you should play an overtime scenario there with the Rainmaker. Just don't give up any ground and just stall out the Rainmaker as long as they can. Especially in overtime, your overtime timer is dependent on their timer remaining on their Rainmaker when it's called there. So it's such a tight situation to be there for Arcaley because you know exactly what you want to do, but with your enemy denying you from that being a possibility, it's just like, what more can you do? And just slowly watch that Rainmaker in your hand tick down to 0. But man, oh man, seeing this now bringing Bra to a 1-1 scenario, I know for a fact that we will most likely see a game 9 here with how these two teams have been playing here. Now moving into game number 3 though, Rainmaker, Splash Zones on Umami Ruins, a map mode that I very, very am happy to see.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised if we see 4 Zuko players come out. We don't have an exact count, not being able to see the results screen, but we were trying to count, and we think there may have been 23 Zukas used across both teams together.
I mean, when you have 4 Zuka weapons on the board, what more can you expect? Like, it's just, you're gonna see a high Zuka usage there, but hearing 23 Zukas on paper alone just sounds like a nightmare to try and play around and play against here. But that being said and done, game number 3, Umami Ruins Flat Zones. We see exactly if there's gonna be any major change-ups from either team, but no, it seems like they're gonna be sticking majority with what they've known up until this point.
Yeah, no changes here. We're just going to move in. Of course, those of you who play Splatoon know that this is a double zone map on Umami. It can be notable for a lot of stalls, but Umami is also a very lockout-heavy map. So I feel like it can go either way, whether it is a really aggressive lockout situation or we're neutral a lot with just the zones flipping back and forth on one side or the other.
Yeah, I mean, we're seeing it already. PSU Blue, even though they have majority control over mid here, they still haven't gotten past the 82 mark here for their points. A good cancel out from Arcaley against Vapor's splashdown there. Really might have been impactful here as they were able to get this zone here and are able to start chipping away at those points. PSU Blue constantly down players now, staggering a little bit as Arcaley are pushing up to try and make sure they keep PSU Blue out for as long as they can.
Yeah, and then do you see Zuka get one pick, third shot, not able to get the pick there, but I do know it at least got that indirect. And especially with those Zukas we see from PSU Blue, even getting those indirects and whatnot, with Vapor's Explo constantly chipping, like, I would not be surprised if it's like, we're comfortable on V-Shot and Zukas, and also Vapor's constantly chipping. It doesn't even matter if we get indirects.
Yeah, I think a lot of PSU Blue own comp just really revolves around just the constant chip damage from Vapor on the Explosion to really try and clean up a lot of picks and clean up a lot of kills as best as you can here. But as I said, that PSU Blue managed to go 2 down. Arcaley flipping the tides here as they're going in fast and furious to try and keep this momentum going on their side. And 1-for-1 trade coming out though kind of slows them down here, but they keep their hold in mid as another player goes down from both sides. Jumping in here, we see Tristrikes at the ready to stall out PSU Blue as long as they can, but we're gonna see if those have any impact here.
Yeah, we could just you get a Zuka, you get a Zuka, you get a Zuka, all to the face. Then you get a little tickle from Jay's whale on that brush, and things are still going back and forth a lot. But we have a lot of players down at PSU Blue. Vapor forced to jump away, not going to use that triple splashdown right there all alone, and that zone is going to flip over to Halley, and they don't have any penalty points, so they could hold this, but they are 2 down, getting real close to taking the lead. And oh no, we have a stall. We have a stall happening.
Unfortunately for Halley, they lost it right as that timer was going to switch from 47 to 46, but because they were still on 47, they were brought back to 48 because of how ties work in this game, and now PSU Blue gave Halley a hefty amount of penalty points, buying them a little bit of extra time to try and get a proper push going in and try to get a proper hold here in mid, and 2 players down for Halley. That could have been a very impactful switch there, as PSU Blue are going to go on the offensive here once again, especially with this killer of Jay Money going on the defense to try and harass the backline or harass any player as they can see.
Yeah, they're also trying to get that blue paint on those zones as best they can. They know those penalty points are going to go down pretty quickly. We are over halfway through. A beautiful 2 Zukas back and forth. Not able to get the third, but got a nice indirect. And honestly, getting a triple right there, Lost's Carbon with the Zuka is eating this game. And now Halley does have the lead. They have less than 30 ticks left to go.
Yeah, they're definitely gearing up for a lockout here against PSU Blue. The PSU Blue has to throw everything they can to try and stay alive with this little game a little bit longer, but 14 points remaining and counting. 1 player down from Halley means that they have the opportunity here to try to contest the zone, but they need to make sure they can contest at least 1 zone and bring it to neutral if they want to stay alive a little bit longer. But only 4 points remaining from Halley means that they're desperately trying to make sure they can stay in control here in mid, but 2 players down. PSU Blue barely staying alive here, giving a hefty amount of 60 penalty points to Halley in the final minute of this game.
PSU Blue is still in it. Really, really good that they were able to stall things out when they could, and then when they had the resources, go cap that other zone. So they are still in it. They have a lot of points to go through, but you know, in zones, especially with mommy zones, they could still win it. We have less than a minute to go, but they are through penalty points, and they get 2 picks on Halley. They are moving in now. It's their turn to try to get this lockout, but Lost us Suka of their own, but going down. PSU Blue is still getting points here. They are about to take the lead. 10. Counting down, still holding control of zone. They are down their brush, but they take the lead. They need just a little bit more time, and Vapor's triple splashdown able to just keep that left zone for them to make sure they get that knockout.
What a back and forth game that was. What initially was PSU Blue looking very good in that game. Lead and Halley were looking really good in that game. To the very end, when Halley was slated to win that game, PSU Blue stood strong and took that game from under Halley's own feet and ran away with it in the final seconds of this game. That was such an insane thing to see from both of these 2 teams, who did an extraordinary well job to just play it to the very end here, just to stay alive for a little bit longer. I genuinely have no words for what I just saw.
Yeah, Vapor doing a really, really good job making sure that there is paint on these zones, knowing they've got that triple splashdown on lock, make sure they can keep control of that. Really, I mean, huge amount of picks, a lot of Zukas from both sides here. Just, it went back and forth a lot, and I think just PSU Blue did such a good job on their last hold to go into knockout.
Yeah, it really. I believe it or not, as maybe shocking as it may seem, folks. But I think Zuka really is a key factor here for both teams. It really shows that getting those picks when you really need them the most can instantly swing a lot of these fights here, and it's showing that it's proving very impactful and very, very important here. And it's just, man, oh man, I think what we counted already was, what, 22 Zukas from that last game from our, according to the voices in our head. Like, it's, even though it's a high count, it's showing exactly why these teams are using it.
Yeah, and they're good.
Oh, I lost the words. I'm still trying to recover from that third game here, but here we see, moving on to game number 4. It's going to be as tense as these last 3 games have been so far. Clam Blitz, Museum, Dolphins, the key here is going to be the spinner here to try and hold it as long as they can. But, Rose, you've been watching this game so far. You've been playing this game for a very long time. What's one particularly good tool to try and break open any defense on a spinner here?
Ooh, I mean, you definitely got to know your angles. You've got some fun angles you can take on Museum. I know my team particularly likes playing buckets and blasters on a lot of these sorts of maps. We have not seen that from either of these teams, but you can take pretty fun angles with Zuka, especially if you are from farther away, just making sure like, oh yeah, if you're set up on your own spinner and I see you, I'm just gonna Zuka you from down farther away. So a lot of it is angles and using your specials together, which we've seen both teams do. They're both doing a really good job of when somebody activates a special, the rest of the team is moving in to clean up. Even if that Zuko does not get a clean direct, if they get hit with the indirect, you just clean up afterwards.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. With so many Zukas on board, it could definitely be just a game of constantly cleaning up any of those picks here. But we do see a very intriguing swap off here from PSU Blue, going in from, instead of taking 2 splatter shots here, we're losing 1 splatter shot and 152 gal. A weapon you don't really see too often here, but it's hard to say exactly if it's going to be any impact here, as PSU Blue immediately lost their first player. Arcade taking a good hold here in mid here, especially with Tactical. It's going to be what's trying to go on defensive right out the gate.
Yeah, and we do have clams already coming out from both sides here. Enough for both of them to have a power clam and move in. Nobody gonna move in just yet, so we have 2 down on both sides here. And I also noticed PSU Blue now, instead of running double Zuka, is running double whale.
Yeah, with Zuka's here and the well, it genuinely could be a very lethal combo if you get those indirects to try and use the killer well to clean up any remaining HP from any of the members you hit from the main team here. But in the midst of me trying to recollect all my thoughts here, as what I just saw here, 3 goes down from PSU Blue. Arcade moving in immediately to try and clean up the last remaining member V from PSU Blues here, but they don't go out without a fight, taking 2 for 1 special here, and that is not a good sign for Arcade. As now both of these teams are sitting in mid here, trying to make sure they can at least keep a good hold off one from another.
I am so surprised that V came out of that going down, but taking 2 with them. I was like, oh, that's a tricky 1v2 situation. They're backed in the corner. Oh, okay. They just took 2 with them. Okay, then.
I was watching that. I fully expect V to go down instantly, but it seems there was a bit of a misplay here from Arcade, and they unfortunately did lose 2 here. Now it's hard to say exactly how impactful that was, as Arcade are still holding in mid here, even though PSU Blue were down a good amount of players going into this push from Arcade. They fortunately are able to keep Arcade at bay there and not let things spiral too much out of control here. PSU Blue having good control of this spinner here, as we mentioned earlier. Spinner here is very important for either team here. As we see from PSU Blue, it's shown that having good control of this area here means that nothing can get through you here, and PSU Blue shows exactly why that's the case.
Yeah, and still, not that uncommon for Clam Blitz. We are almost halfway through. Nobody has scored any points yet, breaking a basket, but it looks like Arcade is threatening a push now. Vapor Splash Down is going to hold them at bay momentarily, but Awesome is going to throw that first power clam in. Loss is going to have to back up there, all alone, going to go down. No other clams going to be scored for Arcade. That's going to stay at 80, giving a free power clam over to PSU Blue.
And honestly, depending on the game you're in, that 80 may not be worth it, or that 80 could be literally the game-winning push there. And as we see, both these 2 teams have been playing a bit of a neutral state here, not really being able to get a proper push going here from one another, but that could have been the breaking point here, as now Arcade, unfortunately, loses the lead here as PSU Blue gets the power clam into the basket. Unfortunately, misses that last power clam, but they do bring it down to 60 points remaining and counting, and some change as Vapor from the top rope comes down with a splashdown, gets 1 before finally going down and depositing that big power clam. Means that PSU Blue just runs away with the points here, extending that lead even further.
big push from 100 to 34, and that is the ideal for Clan Blitz. You want to make sure that when you pop that basket, you're getting it as many points as you can, or if you pop it and you can't move further, get out, because you do not want to lose your life and just let your opponents run back in. Arcaley is going to have to start getting some picks and taking space here, but and their opponents went from 100 to 34. They could go from 80 to knockout if they get a really good push.
Oh, absolutely here. And I mean, with Halley, what we've seen in the past from them, they definitely don't let the score dictate how they play for the remainder of the game. They keep their cool and play it out until overtime is called. And I assure you that they will do the same exact thing here. 1 minute remaining of this game here. Pressure will start building for some folks, but these teams know how to let it get to the best of them. 2 down for Halley means PSU Blue, at least at the very least, has good control of mid here as they have the power clamp, trying to see exactly if they want to try and go for a push here and keep the momentum going, or just stall Halley as best they can. But pick after pick after pick from both sides means that we're still seeing a neutral game here in mid.
Yeah, and just Vapor, who we were specking for a bit, doing a really good job of getting consistent paint and chip damage down to let the rest of PSU Blue clean up. But PSU Blue does lose two members. V almost going down to that splat bomb, almost going down to 2 strikes alone. Gonna have to reposition there towards their own spinner, giving Halley a chance to move in. But no, Sam going down while carrying the power clamp. We have less than 10 minutes to go. Lost is trying to get in, but they are picked by V. We have Snow and B guarding that power clamp. The pencil player on a Halley does have that, but they're all gonna go down in a wipeout in overtime, meaning that they are not going to be able to get back in, and PSU Blue is going to throw in a power clam to close that out.
What an interesting game that was. Halley going in for an initial small but worth it push there to try and set themselves up for a bigger hit and a swing if things don't go too well for them. And PSU Blue, it turns out to get the lead in the mid point, which they do, taking it all the way down to 34 points. But Halley couldn't really recover from that point onward, constantly at a 1-for-1 trade or just at a 2-for-1 scenario, and it was hard to actually get anything going on their side. And a wipeout here in overtime really sealed the deal for them. Halley not being able to fight against PSU's Blue, immense pressure means that now PSU Blue is sitting 3-1 against Halley.
Yeah, that chip damage working really, really well for PSU Blue. I think the double whale here really, really helped them. It was really, really great to see Halley just sort of trapped, not able to necessarily get through mid super frequently. They had a couple really good opportunities to push in, and they took them, but props to PSU because they would come straight back in, making sure that they're not letting Halley push past their spinner.
Yeah, no, it was a good hole from PSU Blue with their spinner control and just making sure that they keep Halley at bay, making sure they keep them flushed out and properly staggered. And it goes to show that PSU Blue, what I like to mention anyways, that this one score Halley has, this is the first time they lost a game in this season so far. This was their first loss against Halley here in semifinals, which goes to show how hard it is to actually win a set off of PSU Blue if they gone this entire time without dropping a game here. But we're gonna see if Halley can maybe do it again against PSU Blue here on Inkla Art Academy Tower Control.
It could be. This could be the game for Halley to start catching up, start racking up some more game wins. Inkblot Tower Control, a very, very interesting one. Map mode that I think all of us in competitive Splatoon are very familiar with. It's pretty common to see in a lot of tournaments. An extremely common counter pick for any formats that use counter picks. And I could see definitely a couple weapons from both teams here eating really well. If Vapor gets set up in a really good spot, that's going to be annoying. If Lost gets set up, that's going to be really annoying. I think both of them are going to do a lot of aggression.
Yeah, absolutely. This map most specifically, it favors multiple different types of modes and weapon cops here, which is why it's such a fan favorite to always come back to an competitive scene anyways. So I'm interested to see exactly how this game's going to shake out here. Eric Haley already ripping out the gate with the tri-strikes to try and control some space. PSU Blue going 2 players down, but not without taking their own picks here, as Eric Haley looking to get that tower moving at the very least so they can try at least contest that first checkpoint here. But splashdown coming in from Vapor means that any potential push here is fended off, as Arcade is going to choose to actually just reset here in mid, make sure that they stop PSU Blue's own incoming push.
Yeah, good decision making from both sides here. We've seen half of PSU Blue went down, and the remaining 2 members were smart and knew, okay, we're gonna go retreat back to where exactly the tower is gonna move forward, and they were able to stop it there. Arcade also knew, okay, well we've lost a couple people in our push. Now we're gonna back up a little bit. Really, like, good decision making from both sides.
And I mean, they're Division 1 for a reason. They have the skill and the decision making to be in this division in the first place here. But 3 down for PSU Blue at the cost of that first checkpoint. It's up to you to decide if that was worth it or not. But as Arcade already moving in to take advantage of that 3-player down scenario at that first checkpoint already to contest that. Ingzuka and Tri-Strikes to clear the space they need so they can take that first checkpoint without any issue. And now they're going to be the ones taking lead here as they move past it.
Yeah, forced to back off of that tower for a little bit as Whale comes out. Gonna have to hold on space behind the tower, but Arcade is gonna go down 2 in the process. They were able to beat that first checkpoint. They've got 2 more checkpoints to try to crack, but they're gonna have to hold space now because PSU is moving in. Jay not able to get the pick there, forced to back up a little bit, but Whale's coming out yet again. They're so good for getting chip damage in, so good for also pointing out where the enemy is moving, and Awesome is doing everything they can to stay alive, but Lost is back in to give back up, getting a pick on that brush. They are still moving in, but Arcade is going to lose one of their shots here, and now getting a trade in from Lost. We see just people going down on both sides, back and forth. This tower is going to sit back in mid again.
Yeah, I mean, these constant back and forth trades has been a trend between these past 4 games now. Both these 2 teams have the skill to actually keep each other in check in a 1-on-1 scenario, even a 2v1 scenario from both sides. But it's the micro stuff that actually starts really tipping the scales here. Right now, Arcade is up by 6 points, and that lead can swap at any minute, and it's hard to say exactly which way this is going to swing here, but with 3 down Arcade, I think it's definitely going to start swinging in PSU Blue's favor here as they get that tower past that lead point, and now they're looking to try and contest that second checkpoint, but Arcade already at the ready with Ingzuka to try and get the pick. Unfortunately, finds no one. Second checkpoint at the contest here, as they do get a good pick off the brush, but maybe too little too late, as 3 down goes from Arcade once again. This is not looking good for them.
PSU Blue is charging forward. That earlier flank from Snow really created a ton of space for the rest of the team to move in on. And like we said, it can be really scary when Vapor gets set up here. 2 go down, maybe a 3rd shortly. Constant chip damage coming in. Vapor holding the space here. Snow and the rest of the team just doing their best to juggle the tower. They are going through that last checkpoint, not able to clear it just yet. Awesome's trying to clear out the rest, and it looks like Arcade has managed to buy themselves some more time. Gonna stop that last checkpoint from being cleared, but unfortunately gonna go down here, giving PSU Blue a chance to keep it moving forward.
I mean, V really was an MVP there, holding that ground and not letting the 1v4 scenario get to the best of them. Now with Ingzuka again, not only 1, but 2 here as they keep this momentum going. They're not letting this push go. Arcade constantly down players. They do have Tri-Strikes and Ingzuka at the ready, but it's gonna be hard to tell if they're gonna be used properly here against the madness that PSU Blue has. There's so much going on across the map at so many different times that it's hard to keep track of what's exactly going on from every single angle. PSU Blue does lose their 52 gal, and Arcade looking for one and trying to flush them out properly here, but 2 down from Arcade means PSU Blue has the advantage once again here to keep things going on their side. 3 down from Arcade. PSU Blue are wanting to knock this out here and now.
The fighting for their life, getting a trade, but Jay is already back in. Snow set up, abandoning the tower for now. They have 20 seconds left to go. They don't need to go in for a big push. If they can just keep the tower on Arcalie's side to keep Arcalie from pushing that in, that's going to be huge. And we do have one down on both sides. Second one going down on Arcalie. Not what you want to see if you are them. They're in a really dangerous situation with the brush in their bats. They are able to clear, but they've got to carry that tower right now. But unfortunately, the strike's going out. Not going to get anybody else to get on the tower.
Yeah, I think as soon as J Money right there at the very end was able to get that pick against Arcaley, I think that's what really sealed the deal for them. PSU Blue, they forced Arcaley, they distracted Arcaley long enough that even if Arcaley did get that 1-for-1 trade, which they did, by the way, they were too far in their own bats so they could contest the tower and take this in overtime. There wasn't enough players at the ready to actually contest the tower, and that cost them the game. It's such an extraordinary thing that I don't know if that was J Money's own plan there, or if they were just in the batch just to be a nuisance and they didn't know for sure if they had the pack up at the ready to go and contest that tower. It's just small things like that that really makes these two, not just PSU Blue, but these two teams as a whole and in this division really shine.
Yeah, really strong players. They are in Division 1 in CCA for a reason. We're seeing good plays from both sides. We're just, when PSU Blue makes a huge play, it definitely seems like they get a lot of points off of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, PSU Blue, when they hit hard, and Arcaley has been struggling to try and figure out exactly what it is that they're missing out on. They did win the first game against PSU Blue, but ever since then, it seems that PSU Blue has been able to figure out more and more of Arcaley's own strategy and are actually actively keeping them at bay and already like a few steps ahead of what Arcaley wants to do here. And now, sitting at match point for PSU Blue, I know for a fact Arcaley doesn't want to go home just yet. They want to try and fight this to the very end to at least take it to game 9 if they have to, so they can win out this set here. And it's gonna be a bit of a tough uphill battle, but I do, for the entertainment purposes and for being the amount of people wanting to see the most out of this set, I do believe that they can take this to game number 9 here. But first, before we get to game number 9, we still gotta get through game number 6, which is gonna be Rainmaker Scorched Gorge.
Yes, always love to watch Rainmaker Scorched Gorge. It is either super stalling or it is just over so fast.
Yeah, I think really what all these two teams gotta watch out for, are these ramps heading into that first checkpoint. Those are really key areas to keep a hold of. And with Vapor on the Explosion, I think that's gonna be a bit more easier. But one thing I'm noticing here first is Arcaley is actually bringing out their own Explosion.
Yeah, and awesome, bringing out the Sea Expo as well. They're also they've got Zap now since they don't have that pencil. Interesting to see. We also had PSU Blue going back to the double V shot comp, getting rid of the 52 in favor of another shot, and they're starting to get some points in here. Both teams are going to go down one. Vapor still holding this Rainmaker, trying to get some space with those Rainmaker shots from the other side, but gonna get ganged up on here, not able to keep going forward, and PSU Blue is gonna wipe, so this is a huge moment for Arcaley to charge in.
Yeah, already pitting the path ahead, lost it as Arcaley going in, moving in fast, take the lead, and they're able to take that first checkpoint. Now sitting at a good position here, and also uses the splash down to try and pop that Rainmaker instantly, using the ink strikes to try and create some more space, and they do get a little bit extra change on top of that first checkpoint pop here, but they do go 2 players down. Arcaley has to back up a little bit, respect the pressure from PSU Blue, as they're now moving in to try and get their own push going here.
Yeah, Arcaley able to push that 257. They do already have that checkpoint open in their favor. That's going to be huge, especially if they're able to get another wipe on PSU Blue. That'll be really great for them. But V able to get some picks here, but we got half of their team is down. V is sort of all alone over there because Jay got ganged up on. Both of them are going to go down here. That means Arcaley can start moving in, and Alson's going to grab that Rainmaker and look like run it over the grates, possibly? I can't tell if they're coming back this way. Yeah, gonna go back with the rest of the team on the right. If they're able to get some more picks, they do already have that one on J Money going down. They can start moving in. They could get a really, really big points push.
Yeah, this definitely could be a push that really cements their lead here, but Halley unfortunately just loses the Rainmaker before that can happen. Now PSU Blue playing very smartly here. They're gonna pick up the Rainmaker once again. 2 players down from Halley means that they're forced to back a little bit, make that 3 players down. PSU Blue are definitely looking to try and get this Rainmaker at least dunked as fast as they can, but we have the splash out from Dawson to try and create that space, but maybe use a little bit too early here as the Rainmaker picks them out finally. PSU Blue looking to try and make sure they can keep this momentum going, not letting anything go. Rainmaker just firing shot after shot after shot, creating so much space. We do see Sam use the ink strikes to keep that space in control here, slowly spacing out properly, but they do unfortunately get the Rainmaker through the checkpoint.
They do. Really good pick on the Rainmaker carrier, but not able to get that pick in before the dunk happened. That does mean that PSU Blue is going to have to play for mid control right now before they can move in, giving Halley a little bit more time to get set up, especially when Lost using that Zuka, not able to get any picks from there, especially with that whale coming up, forcing them to pay much more attention to not dying from those constant tickles from PSU Blue. Lost just not trying to stay alive here, but the team is going down. They are alone. 3 go down on Halley. Sam is alone, all on their lonesome with strikes at their ready, trying to guard this elbow area.
Yeah, this is going to be a pivotal point for this in this game. Can Halley get the Rainmaker out before the damage is done, or will PSU Blue play its lone steady and be able to get that lead swap? There's only about a 16-point differential between these 2 teams right now, so any loss could definitely make or break the game for them and their respective team. And obviously using the splash down to try and create the space and keep it under control here. They do get an important pick here, but PSU Blue's Vapor is able to get pick after pick with the Rainmaker, and they do unfortunately lose the Rainmaker with a wipeout. Halley in the final minute of this game are still holding strong with the lead, and this could be huge for them.
It was huge. Yeah, like you said, we have 1 minute left to go. That PSU Blue is not able to push that forward is so good for Halley. They do still have the lead. It is a small lead that could evaporate any second on this map mode in particular. Vessel holding onto this Rainmaker. Half of the team is going down, trying to just stay alive as best they can, but Vapor sees them. I thought Vessel was about to jump off, but gets the pick on Vapor. Gonna go down as 2 members from PSU Blue jump them. And PSU Blue now has the chance, if they're able to take control of mid and grab this Rainmaker. They have only 10 seconds, and they do need to clear some really obnoxious choke points for them.
Yeah, with Rainmaker in position now for PSU Blue, there's only going to be 55 seconds in overtime here. Halley just turtling up a bit, making sure that they don't get PSU Blue too much momentum on their side. It's a bit of a slow and steady game here in mid to make sure they can absolutely win this game here. Match point for PSU Blue. They want to take this set here and now, but 1 player going down immediately for PSU Blue. Halley going in with the ink strikes to try and create the chaos, trying to push PSU Blue back as far as they can. Going in on the deep end side. We see Sam going in, trying to dive. J Money who has a Rainmaker, and they do successfully take that Rainmaker out of their hand. Still alive in the set. 2 for Halley.
They are still in it. They want that reverse sweep. They want to bring it back.
This is not over just yet, folks. Halley fighting tooth and nail against PSU Blue takes yet another game off of what was, up until this set today, was a perfect season for PSU Blue. And they're showing that they're just as dedicated as PSU Blue to take away this set here from them, not wanting to give up an inch at this point. No more lifelines left for them. Halley backs against the corner. They're gonna fight for this game, whether they win or lose.
Sam diving here. There's so many opportunities. He could have died to those Rainmaker shots, but just having enough mobility with that quick shooter to keep their own feet painted and move in and know when to dodge and whatnot, and just going in with the confidence of, like, that confidence was shining through, just like, I'm gonna run down J Money. I'm gonna get this pick.
Yeah, and I mean, in a situation like that, you were down one or two players in mid. There wasn't anyone really to cover for J Money there. And so I do believe that absolutely was the right call, just to hold forward and throw everything at the Rainmaker to get it out their hands so you can secure that game victory there. You're already down a few sets already, or a few games in this set already. So really, what more is there to lose here, you know? So doing whatever you can to secure that victory was absolutely the right call here. And Arcade managed to buy themselves a little bit more time, taking this game number 7, and this game is probably going to be just as intense as the last few have been. We're going to see ship-shaped cargo companies plaza zones. I'm at a loss of words right now.
I can tell. I can hear it. We will be moving into ship-shaped zones, and I feel like I keep saying, like, oh yeah, sometimes, this map mode it can be really stally, or it can be super fast and knockout heavy. It really depends on the timing of pushes from both these teams. As we've seen, they're both very strong teams, so really anything could happen here.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I did want to know here, Arcade, they pulled out the explosion last game and they won with it. Now they're trying to ride on that success here as they bring that back once again. PSU Blue as still at match point. They are not wanting to try and let this game go so easily. They want to close the set here and now so they can move on to the grand finals match later on in this season. But first, they still got to fight through PSU Blue, who's showing up a good fight here as they take control of mid. Arcade needing to try and slow down a little bit, see exactly who can get that first impactful pick before a good push can happen.
Yes, we do have one go down on Arcade right now. Zuka's going to start coming out for PSU Blue. Vapor, with the rest of the team, able to get in some good picks. That is a wipeout on Arcade, which means V's diving in real deep. Going to have to back out when the rest of Arcade comes in with resources on hand, like Azuka, 2 shots out with 1 left to go. Not able to get a pick there, but does get some damage in and able to clean up on Snow. Lost is here trying to make more space in for the rest of the team. The cooler's out, gonna go for a quick reposition. It can be really hard to get back in on ship shape.
Yeah, this map is specifically known for is a horrendous lockout zone here. And with only 25 points remaining for PSU Blue, we're showing exactly how horrendous it can be. Arcade struggling to even get past to mid here, using every tool they can, especially with Tactical here. But no, 2 players down from Arcade. PSU Blue not letting the pressure go. I believe that's going to be game, set, and match for them as they lock out Arcade long enough with a clean 100-0 victory. Means that Arcade unfortunately loses to PSU Blue here.
PSU Blue will be moving on to the grand finals for CCA Division 1. Huge, clean ship-shape zones game for them.
Oh man, just when things were starting looking for Arcade, a very good showing for them on the last game. PSU Blue just absolutely locked in here and just shut Arcade completely down. It's like they were ready for every single tool that Arcade was going to throw at them and did not give them the opportunity to readjust at all.
Yeah, I saw, and it's very common in ship-shape zones, especially on when you know your opponent's on a match point and you see that counter going down, to start feeling like you have to rush back in. And sometimes you are rushing in before the rest of your team is ready, before you all have your resources ready. PSU Blue knew, we just have to hold. We're going to keep an eye exactly on where they entering from, and then we can all collapse on them.
Oh man, what a set that was. Regardless of the outcome, both teams put a good show tonight. Arcade, even though this game shows that it was a bit of a one-sided match here with PSU Blue taking this game home 5-2, they still put up a really good fight nonetheless. Most of these games didn't actually end in a knockout. Most of these games were lost in overtime, so you gotta be proud of yourselves for not only taking it this far against PSU Blue, but being the ones to actually take the only 2 games they lost so far in this entire season. Even though your grand finals ticket is lost, you still have that 3rd place match to go for, but you still gotta be proud for what you've done today.
Absolutely. I hope, even though Arcade has now been knocked out, I hope they are very proud of what they did. They got 2 games on PSU Blue, who were undefeated, and not only in matches, but in games played at all.
Mm-hmm. Most definitely, yeah, man. Oh man, as much as I would like to keep talking about how these teams were today here, we do have a yet another game for you all, folks. So don't go anywhere just yet. As we start wrapping things up here, Rose, anything else you want to say and add before we start wrapping up?
Always a pleasure. I am so excited to go in soon, end of this month, watch the grand finals happening. You all can find me over on Twitch, YouTube, Blue Sky, all the various places at Rose of Battle. How about you, Dark?
Or you can find me at Blue Sky SPF Dark or most social media sites at SPF_Dark, where I repost random nonsense from time to time. But more often than not, you'll probably hear my voice again and again and again, either here at CCA, Double Productions, Platoon Tourney. I'm literally all over the map, so you most likely hear my voice time and time again. But with that being said and done, folks, this was an extraordinary set to watch here. But don't go anywhere just yet. We have our next match going up here. It's going to be Division 8, EAUCD Splatoon Blue versus Pittsburgh Cardinals. So don't go anywhere just yet. Get your food, get your snacks, use the restroom real quick. We'll be right back after this break.